My story begins in Saudi Arabia. I was born and raised there and lived in Riyadh for about 12 years before I moved to Canada. Life there is completely different. Everything was not as open. I lived in a compound, Cordoba, and we all called it our home away from home. Well, mainly because that was plastered on the entrance in a big banner. We basically lived surrounded by 4 walls. I still had the full experience though. I had great friends, pool parties, and we celebrated many things, one of them being Halloween. Moving to Canada has been a huge change. It is a much more open community and there are many more things that can be done. Now the main difference to me is that when we lived in Saudi, going to Lebanon, which is where my entire family lives, was much easier. It was only a 2-hour flight that would occur occasionally. Whenever we had little 1-week breaks, we would just head over there. Since I moved to Canada, seeing my family has been a 1-year occasion. The flight is about 18 hours and cannot be done a lot. Adapting to everything else was much smoother though, because when we moved here, we were still basically kids. So we grew up here, had our teenage years here. In a way, they led us to be the people my brother and I are today. Coming to Canada has also led me to experience many things I wouldn't have if I didn't move. One of them being going to Denmark, which was an amazing trip that taught me many things. Another thing is that everyone in Canada used to tell me I have an accent. Even though I probably still do, to my friends and family back home, I have a Canadian accent. Now, one more huge change was the culture we live in. I am Muslim and living in Saudi, almost everyone else was. So we all acted accordingly. Yes, there are a lot of multicultural people here, but there are many things that I cannot necessarily do, which makes it hard at times, but I've adapted. There is also a certain way that I wouldn't be able to dress or act if I was still in Saudi. It can get really hard, especially because this year, part of my fasting month is happening while I'm still in Canada and the times are completely different. At the end of the day, I live in Canada, I have great friends, and it is my home away from home.